And welcome to the Midday Show. Hello, good afternoon. Just gone 12 noon, Wednesday afternoon, and a very special guest who I can see in the green room. Radiant with the bright coloured hair. You'll see what I mean in a minute. There she is. I'll tell you what, let's bring her in. You can do that live. Give us your flourish. Hello, Maddie Alexander Grout. Welcome to the Midday Show. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's very nice to have you here. I'm absolutely intrigued. You popped up on the timeline in one of our recent guests, didn't you? Yes, indeed.
Karen, the lovely Karen Wybrow with her fantastic new book, One Sacred Life.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. And I quite like the cut of your jib. So I said, oh, yes, we should get you on because we talk about subjects like this, particularly on a Wednesday, quite a lot at the Midday Show. So, mad about money. Tell us. Yes. Tell us, what aren't we all mad about money? Why are you particularly mad about money?
So I always say I'm mad about money because it makes me mad in so many ways. So I'm mad about it in the fact that I love it. I love making it. I love spending it. I love doing everything with it. It makes me mad because I don't think there's enough of it in this country, thanks to our lovely government. I am mad about helping to teach people that money doesn't have to be a scary thing. So I am an ADHD money and business coach. The money side came from me struggling with spending addiction for 25 years. I still have a spending addiction now, but I just manage it very, very well. And I've also got a book called Mad About Money as well, Managing Life and Finances with ADHD.
I was going to ask if you were ADHD yourself.
Yes, very much so.
Right, because I had a look at your website. And I love.
God, I mean, that one's not great.
I love the graphic on there. May I have your permission to put that on screen?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, go for it.
All right, because I absolutely loved it. Now look at this. I took one look at that and thought, yep, that's neurospicy, as my friend likes to call it.
Yeah.
And the bit that made me laugh most of all, because this actually did happen to me while I was taking an online ADHD test. I love this bit on the left. Are you neurodivergent, or you think you might be? No. Oh, what's that over there? Literally, I was taking the ADHD test online. I'm like, do you start projects and not finish? Ooh, what's that? And literally, and then I had to laugh at my own irony.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people's brains are like this as well. Let me just follow that flow chart.
So there is a reason why I've done this. So as an ADHD business owner, and I have to thank the amazing G. Sabini Roberts, who is my branding consultant, who does all of my graphics for me. They're amazing. But basically, I have a brain that likes to try and diverge into other business areas. So I'm like, I'm just going to start a new business. Stop it, Maddie. So this map keeps me on track, and I'm not allowed to start anything unless it's in the map. So it helps me to keep my brain focused.
Just describe the symptoms of ADHD to me as they present to you, because I think my girlfriend is convinced that I'm ADHD. I think I might be a bit, and I did do the test, and the numbers came in just slightly under.
Okay,
the line. So I could be borderline.
I mean, the thing is with ADHD, you do, especially to get a diagnosis, you do have to hit all of the markers. There are so many different traits. It would take me a year to tell you all of them, but let's focus on some of them. So impulsivity. So, and it's also really important to point out that there are two different types of ADHD. There is hyperactive and there's inattentive, and there's also combined. So I'm combined. I'm also autistic, dyspraxic. I've got dyscalculia, dyslexia, dysgraphia, PMDD.
What's dysgraphia? Oh, hang on. What's dysgraphia?
Dysgraphia is struggling to write and hold a pen.
Okay. And the one you said after that, PMD?
PMDD, premenstrual dysphoric disorder. When I talk about it around men, they're like, that sounds really scary. It's basically like PMS on speed.
Blimey, I can't even imagine what that might be like.
I didn't ask if I was allowed to swear. I hope I am. Sorry.
No, it's all right. We're not regulated by Ofcom, so if you swear, it doesn't bloody matter at all. And did you say OCD as well?
OCD, yeah. I've also got
a checker or a cleaner.
No, neither of those. Neither of
Okay.
those. So I have basically compulsions, obsessive habits. I'm a skin picker. I pull out my eyelashes, my hair, like all sorts of things. I know I've got loads of hair. You wouldn't notice, but there
Which
are
is a good
some
thing.
bald patches underneath. So I also have generalized anxiety disorder. I take sertraline, and I'm very much a proud advocate of taking drugs for your mental health. Like, they do actually work, weirdly. So I take a whole, like a concoction of, like, I'm a rattling pill packet, I always say.
Right. And it manages all this menu of conditions well, does
many
it?
things. So yes, so let's get back to to what the traits are of ADHD. So so impulsivity, overwhelm, things like poor organizational skills, poor memory, things like managing your executive function, emotional regulation or dysregulation.
What do you mean by managing your executive function?
So essentially, your executive function is the thing that helps your brain to do things in a typical way. So things like admin, for example. Like, I always say that I am fucking awful at admin, but it's because my brain just doesn't like it. It doesn't connect with it. So therefore, because I don't connect with something, it makes it really boring. Therefore, my brain doesn't want to do it.
If you do connect with it and you love something, does your skill level at it rocket?
Absolutely. Hyperfocus, again, another trait. So for people who have got ADHD, if they like something, they will go hard and they will go long, and they might not stop to drink or eat or take a wee or like do any of the things that like a normal bodily function will do. I was talking about it on my Instagram this morning. So like, I woke up this morning and I've got like that scratchy throat, when you're going to get ill. And all I can think about is the fact that I'm getting ill, and I'm like, oh, I'm ill, I'm poorly. And I've said to the kids about 3 times, I'm poorly, don't be horrible to me. Like, just kind of doing these things. And then I thought about it and I was like, but my body doesn't tell me if I need a wee or if I'm hungry or if I like, if I'm thirsty. I sometimes get to like 4 o'clock in the afternoon and I'm like, oh shit, I haven't eaten today. Things like task paralysis as well. I mean, task paralysis is a massive thing for ADHDers. It is essentially where you have to do something, but you just physically can't do it. Transitions, struggling from like going from one thing to another. So the biggest example I give of this is like, if you ever arrive at your house, but you just don't have the spoons to like get out of your car and actually go inside. So you sit on your driveway and just faff about on your phone. That's a really, really big kind of notification to you that actually like you struggle from moving from one situation to another situation, which can also be an autistic thing as well. Or if you have like struggle to kind of do things that everyday people do, like brush your teeth or have a shower, or you could be like, right, I smell, I need to have a shower, but it will take you like an hour to actually muster up the energy to go and have a shower, and then afterwards you'll sit on your bed in a towel for ages and then be like, oh, okay, I suppose I've got to get dressed. That's hard. So it's small things like that can really
magnify and seem much bigger than they would be to neurotypical people. A lot of that is me, some of it isn't, but okay. A lot of it is.
What things do you identify with?
Getting distracted, starting but not finishing things.
Yeah.
Loads of brilliant ideas.
Yeah.
Really good at something.
Creativity is massive.
But if it bores me, like admin, I just don't like it.
I think probably if you're like, I'm not, and I always say this, I'm not qualified to diagnose. I am a qualified neurodiversity coach, so I do know an awful lot about it. It kind of, we see our traits in other people. If your wife thinks that you possibly might have ADHD, I think it's quite likely that you probably do, and maybe some of the things that you don't think you identify with, if you really thought about them, you might find them there. And I think this is one of the things why lots of people go for a diagnosis and they struggle to advocate for themselves. They don't know what it is they struggle with.
Thinking about it, when I was young, I'd have a shower and stand in the shower with a towel wrapped around me for ages because I couldn't be bothered to get out.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And it's probably so small that you probably don't notice it unless.
Well, there's no need to be rude. Sorry, I couldn't resist that. Sorry. Sorry.
Love it. You're a man after my own heart, Neil. Like, and also on that note, quirky sense of humour. I am so inappropriate most of the time. I overshare. Oversharing, like, you'll know my life story by the time we've finished on this podcast. Some of it you'll want to know. I do
stand-up comedy and sing songs about what lonely men do with hoovers. I'll leave that there for you to work
out. Oh, yeah. I've always wanted to get into stand-up comedy, and I was listening back to my book launch, and I was like, I'm actually quite funny sometimes. Maybe I should.
Where are you based?
Southampton.
Southampton. I can give you some contacts on the Hampshire scene for open mic nights.
Would love to. Absolutely. Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah, I've got a few contacts down there.
Now I've got to actually do it. I've said I'll do it, so I will.
I reckon you could. No, I've got some nice Hampshire colleagues. I'm sure that there'll be some open mic spots. Yeah, but the first thing is to get fight. Well, first thing is to have a go.
Yeah.
And then it goes to a type 5, then 10, then 15.
Yeah,
then when you got 20, then you know.
Yeah, I'm a speaker. I'm a podcaster myself, so I can think on my feet, and stuff comes out of my mouth, and I'm like, oh, that was quite funny. Don't know where that came from. So, yeah, maybe, and also, I mean, swearing always makes things funny, right? So.
It can do. Swearing can be it's not the main ingredient, but it can be.
No, it's not. No, it's an interesting thing. So so I think I would recommend learning more about your brain. If you learn more about your brain, if you find out, there's a really great book I can recommend, which might help you to understand it a little bit. Mad About Money, great. Amazon bestseller. Also recently recommended by Zoe Ball on the Dig It podcast. So that was fucking cool. She bought a copy for herself and for her son, which was nice. So
very nice.
Yeah. Shameless plug. Sorry, gotta be done. But
you can plug this. You can plug as much as you want, and I'll send you the audio afterwards so you can edit.
Oh, amazing! Oh, that'll be fun. Well, I mean, this book is very different.
How does neurodiversity play into money? Let's get onto that, because that's what this is
okay about. So neurodiversity and money, there are so many different things that come into neurodiversity that make money really difficult. So first of all, I mean, the task paralysis thing, that comes into play with things like paying bills or checking for subscriptions, cancelling things. The impulsivity means that lots of ADHDers struggle with things like impulse spending, hence why I got into this in the first place. My spending addiction was so out of control. Like I bought things for the sake of buying things. I'm a people pleaser, so I often, I'm the first at the bar. I'm the first to buy a round of drinks, even though I don't drink. I'm still like, who wants a shot? And I'm like, I don't even do them anymore. Like, what's that all about? Addictive personality, so things like gambling, spending money on things like booze and drugs and like all those kinds of things as well. ADHD tax. So this is not a tax that is kind of imposed on you by the government. It is literally a tax that people with ADHD have to spend. It's very similar to disabled tax. Like there are lots of things that disabled people have to buy, and ADHD people are similar. So there will be things like you might be more prone to losing things. You might be more prone to breaking things or accidentally ordering 2 of the same thing. Like I bought all of my Christmas shopping so early this year that I literally just bought my best friend's daughter some more stuff. And then I was like, Maddie, you stupid woman, you've already bought her Christmas presents.
I can relate to that because I DJ as well. And in my local disco shop, they call me the Destroyer.
Love it.
I walk in and it's not like, hi Neil, what can we do for you? It's, what have you broken now?
Well, so you've also got this creative, the creative thing. So the stand-up comedy,
the creative thing is there.
Podcasting,
when it's not blocked by the racing mind, or distractibility. Because for creativity, you do need a focus, or to be in the present moment. Certainly.
Yes, and another little known devil, rejection sensitivity dysphoria.
Now, I've heard a lot about that recently.
So RSD, rejection sensitivity dysphoria, is it doesn't necessarily even have to be actual rejection. It could be perceived rejection. So I could come off here and you'd be like, oh, Maddie thought I was a crap host. I really don't, by the way, but just as an example. Or you could have somebody might say something about you, or you might see a post on Facebook and think it's about you even though it's not. Justice sensitivity as well. So if you see somebody who has been wronged and you know them and you like them and you're like, no, I'm out for justice now. And again, it's just the way our brains are programmed.
Interesting. Yeah, I know someone exactly like that.
Yeah. Is it you?
It's not who I was talking about. Yeah, asking for a friend. No, it's not who I was talking about. But I mean, I don't like to see people wronged. But I think
anyone does. But it's.
But I think also there has to be a certain detachment, because if I went through the world looking for people who were wronged, I'd burn out in a day.
And I mean, burnout is very common for people who have got ADHD. Like,
I
really,
was going to ask that. So this, I mean, it's yes, it's good to want to right wrongs. Yes, it's good to want justice. Yes, what we're trying to achieve, all of these are good things, but at the cost of burnout.
Yes, and I've been
burn
there.
Out.
Yeah,
if you burn out, you can't do anything, and then you're no good to anyone, including yourself. So what are the back to what you were saying? So what are the smarter ways to manage?
So with burnout, I think it's also hard because our interoception is really just almost not there. So when we are close to burning out, we often don't notice it. So we really do have to get to know our brains, our bodies, try and rest as much as we can. I always say Sunday is the day of rest. Sometimes I sleep all day on a Sunday, like just so I can recharge for the week ahead. But it is kind of about like listening to your body and going, right, okay, I've woken up this morning, I've got a scratchy throat, I should probably try and rest a bit today. My ADHD brain goes, no, you don't need to rest. Like, rest is for the weak. You can rest when you're dead. And I'm like, but actually I have nearly died several times. I ended up in hospital with a kidney infection that was just so bad that I almost got sepsis. And these are things that they are signs of burnout. And this
so that's year, burnout. So had you slowed down, you would have seen the signs earlier.
Possibly, and also having been there, it's easier to identify when you're going into burnout when you've been there and you kind of know. So if you are starting to withdraw from things that you normally like, if you're feeling constantly tired, if you lose interest in things that you would normally like, that kind of thing, that's often a big sign that burnout's on its way. Overcommitting to things, saying yes to things when actually you really want to say no.
You mentioned people pleasing.
Yeah. I am a recovering people pleaser. Boundaries are hard. So, boundaries are one of those
boundaries
things.
Is something I learned relatively late in the name of trying to be nice.
And trying to be somebody to everyone. And because we want to be liked, because otherwise rejection sensitivity dysphoria comes in. When we feel like we're not liked, we literally feel like we need to go into the garden and eat worms. And that's not how it is. But our brains go, everybody hates you. You're a fucking moron, go outside. When really it's just actually we are probably quite low, quite burned out. You can probably tell by your sleep quality as well. Drinking water really helps. Exercise really helps. I used to be the person who hated, like, I'd run for the ice cream van. That's about it. I wouldn't run for like any other reason. And my dad passed away a few weeks ago. So 10 weeks ago, and my body just went.
Oh, Maddie, I'm so sorry.
Hey, no, it's cool. It's cool. He had like everything that was wrong with him probably could have been wrong with him. So much to the point where, like, when he died, they were like, we can't give you a death certificate because there's so many reasons why he might have died. We don't really know which one it is. So we're just a bit of a pain. But some good things have come out of it. So I have discovered exercise, which has been amazing for my brain and my mental health, and really good. And the first thing that my brain said, run. And I was just like, I don't like running. I don't want to run. And my legs ran, and I ran for about 3 weeks until my knees started hurting. And then I was like, maybe I'll turn this into a walk. But the walking every day really helps.
I walk every day, or try to. I haven't walked.
Yeah, even if it's 20 minutes, just like come rain or shine, I'm out there. The only thing I will not walk in is snow, because I once fell over in snow and really badly hurt my bum. Not happening again. But it's a really interesting. I think an ADHD brain is possibly one of the interesting things ever to learn about it, and it is my hyper focus. So like everything I do, so I coach on business, money, and life all around the ADHD sphere.
Now,
and I
a lot of people would think ADHD, and I really want people to hear this message if they're watching or watching the replay. Hi to you if you are, because I know people I'm fond of that think there's something wrong with them because they've got ADHD. And what I say to these people, and you'll probably put it better than me, is who gets to have the monopoly on what is normal?
I'm going to be honest. I don't think there is a thing. I don't think normal exists. I really don't. I think to a certain extent, every single brain out there is actually really different. Every ADHD, every autistic person, there are different things that people have. And I really do think that every single brain is different. Neurodiversity is a thing. There are specific traits that go along with every neurodivergent presentation. But neurotypical, my husband's neurotypical, right? Normal, but he still has traits. And I'm like, he doesn't actually, we've had this conversation many a time of like, I'm like, there's definitely something going on there. And he's like, but I don't identify with all the things that you do and I don't struggle. So I think there's something to be said of like, if you struggle, could it be because of your brain? Could it be that something else is going on there? It's not just depression. It's not just anxiety. It's not just menopause. It's not just, the fact that you've got kids. I mean, a lot of times, like women are late diagnosed because they don't present the symptoms as much until like either they hit perimenopause or they have kids, and they're not
isn't
just
it harder for girls and women to get diagnosed? Isn't there a bit of a patriarchy thing going on?
There is. Yeah, absolutely. So it used to be the stereotypical like little boy thing where it's like if you have ADHD, you're a naughty little boy, right? And it's not the case. I mean, first of all, ADHD and the way that it shows up can make people disruptive or not focused or, the class clown and those kind of things. I was that person, but I was just the person who got sent to detention. Nobody ever saw me as the naughty little girl. They were just like, oh, Maddie's clever, but she doesn't apply herself. Maddie's a daydreamer. She just likes writing notes to the boys and those kind of things. But really it's because it wasn't noticed. And it's only been really in the last sort of 10, 15 years that women have had the ability to get diagnosed. But that's also because they present symptoms in a very different way to men. Often women are more likely to be inattentive rather than hyperactive. I mean, I'm lucky I got the hyperactive. I always think that the hyperactive's the kind of the fun side. But it is often missed, and that there's this whole like narrative in the press at the moment. And I have to admit, I am like, if you Google me, you will see that I am the press's favourite scapegoat at the moment. They call me a sickfluencer. Essentially, a sickfluencer is somebody who like tries to persuade people that they're poorly so that they can claim benefits, which is idiots not what I do.
Not fair. That is not your vibe at all. I don't buy that. Why are they doing that? No. Idiots.
Well, do you know what, though? It's quite good for my visibility because, like, the people who read the Daily Mail and the Telegraph and, like, the ones that tend to throw me under the bus are not my ideal clients anyway. I don't want to work with, like, right-wing, horrible people. So, it's the people who see me are the people who read, like, they might read an article and they'll be like, oh, what is a sickfluencer? What do they do? And then they come and they look at my TikTok and they're like, oh, here's somebody who talks really positively about ADHD and tells people they're not broken.
Exactly, that's your vibe. I think it's worth saying at this point, though. I mean, that's an awful term, sickfluencer, but there probably are people, not you, but there probably are people that do that because if you can convince people something's wrong with them, they can become very malleable clients.
Yes, right.
Of course, and I think also it's worth saying or let me ask you your opinion on this. Do you think there's an diagnosis of labels like this?
No, absolutely not. There is wildly underdiagnosis going on. You don't
think it's too easy just to say, oh, it's ADHD, it's OCD, and just back these, because the terms get banded around. There was OCD, then there was ADHD, then there was narcissism, and they're all sort of banded around. Yes. And someone that's got an opinion is now a narcissist, and someone that's checks the light twice has got OCD, and someone that got a bit distracted during the conversation, oh, you must be ADHD. You don't think that's going on?
No, not really, because it's really hard to get a diagnosis. You have to go through a clinical psychiatrist route to be able to actually get it. They don't just hand it out to anybody, because if they were handing it out to anybody could get medication, and medication for an ADHD brain that isn't actually an ADHD brain, essentially that's just speed. So everyone would be just fucking rushing around everywhere, like off their tits all the time. So
yeah,
that
it's
doesn't,
Ritalin, isn't it?
yeah,
It's
exactly.
legalized speed.
Exactly.
Apparently, because it's all to do with the lack of dopamine reuptake, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's the dopamine reuptake inhibitors, and they are. It's a chemical thing, and ADHD brains actually look different. So there's a lot to be said at the moment. There is a absolutely, the whole Wes Streeting thing. It's like, he should be tackling these ADHD activists, and I'm like, hey, come tackle me. I'm ready for it. Like, I will drop kick you to the curb, mate. But honestly, like, they're putting these people out, these journalists and people who are in the press. There's someone at your door.
There is. I think it might be one of many deliveries.
Oh, okay. I mean, you can get it. I mean,
I about people in the press. I'll just see if it's someone important.
Yeah. I'll just carry on talking to myself because I'm having a rant.
I'll put you on by yourself. It's now.
Yeah, fine. It's all good. It's now the Maddie Show, right? So Wes Streeting, like, the thing with all these journalists, Wes Streeting, like the people who are working in the government, like all of these people, they are not trained neurodiversity professionals. So we shouldn't be listening to their opinion, because it is literally just that. It is opinion. They do not know what they're talking about. They do not understand neurodivergent brains, and therefore, of course, they're going to think it's made up because they don't experience it. They haven't had that lived experience. So I have had 37 years of my life where, like, I got diagnosed with an artificial colouring allergy at the age of 4 because I was really hyperactive and, like, I was easily distracted and all those things. It wasn't an artificial colouring allergy, just to throw that out there. It was ADHD, but it was just missed for so long because people don't understand it. So I finished my rant. We're all good.
Thank you. Can I come back now? You're doing very well there by yourself.
Yeah, you can come back. Yeah, welcome to the Maddie Show.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Lovely to have you.
Thank you so much indeed. What would you like to ask me?
What's your favourite cheese?
Cheddar, or a really strong cheddar. Crumbly.
Crumbly. Oh no, I don't like it. Oh, I can't see again. Another thing with ADHD. Well, it's more autism actually, but food textures and sensory difficulties. Like, I can't handle anything that has like a weird crunch. So I like cheddar that's kind of cheap but strong. So like Sainsbury's Own, perfect. There are other supermarkets available. But yeah, just the crunch. Nope, sets my teeth on edge. Can't do it.
Interesting. Well, I'm pleased to say that's one thing I don't have. Come on, ask me a couple more questions, then we'll throw it back to you.
Okay. What is the most embarrassing thing you've ever done?
I don't know if it's suitable for the Midday Show, but
absolutely. Let's do it.
Do you
want me to tell you mine, and then we'll go to yours?
I'm trying to work out a way of getting this story into my comedy routine. All right, you go first.
Okay. I once peed on a barbecue.
Why would you do that?
Well, we were camping on the Gower Peninsula, and nobody had any water. The only thing we had was vodka, and every time we tried to put it out with vodka, it didn't work. And we couldn't leave a lit barbecue in a sand dune because it would have caused a fire. So I had the brilliant idea that actually I would pee on it. So I peed on it. It did. It put it out. But my friend still has trauma responses from the smell. Don't ever pee on a lit barbecue. I'm not going to lie. It's not a nice smell.
Thank you very much indeed.
You're welcome. Hi, I'm Maddie and I'm an oversharer. Oh no, and you've gone again.
No, I took myself off deliberately because I don't want to tell you my story.
No, you're good. No, it's happening. It's happening now.
Well,
come on.
All right. Well, it was a family dinner and I was around with my girlfriend and we thought we'd pop upstairs and, you know,
as you do,
while dinner was being cooked. And then we were sitting down eating dinner and it was all nice, family and grandma and everyone and me and my girlfriend. And the fucking dog walked in with the condom hanging out of its...
Oh no. That is really embarrassing. That is literally like...
I mean, you did art. I mean, that is probably my best story ever.
One of the other ones that...
I can't believe you got that out of me, Maddie.
I know. Okay, you see, I'm
live on radio.
I know, right? I had I moved back to Southampton after I had bailiffs at my door, and it was very I was very traumatized. It was really bad. My stepdad was helping me to move a bag from the car into the house, and it suddenly started vibrating, and he looked inside and he was like, that's a collection. I'm like, oh, that was pretty horrible as well. I've got loads. They come out from everywhere.
We've got some comments on the timeline.
Excellent. Good. Okay.
He says, not all right-wing people are closed-minded. Just saying. Now,
bollocks. Sorry.
Now, Ian is our regular resident comedian. He's always got a witty remark, okay. and he's always taking the piss out of me as well.
Okay.
So, actually, for someone that lives in Surbiton, he's actually all right. I have to defend him. Well, even though I live in New Malden, and he described my town as a colony the other day. Colony.
Okay, I mean, so in my experience with right-wing people, they are often homophobic, transphobic. They don't think that ADHD exists. They don't like black and brown people. There's a lot of reasons why I said what I said. Ian, if you want to tell me that you agree with all of those things in the comments, and that actually you're pro-trans, you think ADHD exists, etc., maybe I will let you off.
All right.
I'm up for a challenge.
I don't know if you did this when you were doing the Midday Show. Wes Streeting's recent comments about ADHD and autism.
I just had a rant about that.
I'm sorry, I was getting my parcels.
You missed it. So my comments about Wes Streeting's ADHD doesn't exist is the fact that he is not a qualified professional, so he doesn't know what he's talking about. That's basically end of story. Like if he actually
but dyslexia didn't exist in the classroom before we understood it.
Oh no, Jamie Oliver invented dyslexia apparently. So it's just all of these things did exist. It's just that years ago they would have just been people who were put in mental asylums.
Or witches.
Yes, I would 100% have been a witch.
So the thinking is getting less primitive, shall we say? But yes, probably a long way to go. Is that fair?
I mean, the thing is, right, there's lots of people who are saying like ADHD and overdiagnosis, etc. Like when the telescope was invented, more people could see the stars. Okay, so ADHD is becoming better known. More people understand it. They identify with it. They get diagnosis. They are the stars. Do you get it? I mean, it's very much there is more information around. People like me are out there on TikTok and Instagram talking really openly about all of these things.
And ironically, ADHD, we don't need any more information. We got enough already, but we do. We do
a lot. But the thing is, it's not just like, oh, I forgot my keys, like, oh, I lost my phone. Like the thing is, it is the frequency and the patterns of how often it occurs. So like every single person on this planet will walk into a room at some point and be like, I can't remember why I'm here. Or they'll lose their keys, or they'll they'll lock their keys in the car or whatever. But it's the frequency of these things happening. It happens to me on a very frequent basis. I pretty much miss every train I ever try and get. Time blindness is like not my friend whatsoever. I have struggled for most of my life. And when I started to understand my brain, I was like, hey, oh, right, all of these things make sense now. And then I wrote a book about it.
So was it a relief when you discovered that it had a... Because I had OCD and I thought there was something terribly wrong with me. And then when I was diagnosed and realised that people have had it for hundreds of years, thousands of years, including one of the biblical saints who refused to step on a cross if twigs were in the shape of a cross or something like that, even going back that long in time, then it was relief first of all, and so I didn't think there was something terribly wrong with me. But OCD is treatable. Would you say? So number one, is it relief when you finally realise, oh, there's nothing really wrong with me, it's just a condition? And two, is it treatable, manageable? Do we hope for a cure in the future? Does it need curing?
It doesn't need curing. It really doesn't. Like, I don't see myself as broken. I see myself as quirky, weird, different. Like, I actually... Many
things, but broken, I wouldn't say. No,
absolutely not. I run a 6-figure business. I'm a best-selling author. I have 2 beautiful children, a lovely husband. I just bought a new house. No, absolutely not. No. I mean, I don't claim benefits. I have in the past. I've claimed job seekers. I've had access to work to help me to get my business off the ground, stuff like that. But I don't claim any benefits anymore at all. There are like when you understand your brain, you can work out ways to cope. I mean, obviously, as an ADHD coach, I recommend coaching, but there are plenty of other things. There are lots of influencers who talk about ADHD. They don't tell you how to fix the problem. I'm not one of those people. I will openly say, like, these are the
cope
things
or
that will
thrive,
happen.
or is it a spectrum between
cope or thrive? It is a spectrum. Like, some people who have got ADHD don't cope at all, and it's very debilitating, and it's really, really hard. And I have been one of those people in the past. Like, until I was 37, I couldn't keep down a job. I was permanently in debt. My love life was like just horrendous. When I started to learn and understand my brain, I started to understand my patterns and the reasons why I did things. And then I unmasked and I became my true self. And like, now I just don't give a fuck if people like me or not. I mean, when you've got the press constantly calling you a sickfluencer, like every time I go on the radio, like I'm quite a regular guest on LBC, and every time I go on, they introduce me. And Maddie has been dubbed a sickfluencer. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, when is this narrative gonna end? But I just don't care anymore. Like when it first happened in January, I was like, oh my God, my business is ruined. They've thrown me under the bus. I'm going to be like, everyone's going to hate me and everyone's going to think I'm a criminal. And then I was like, I've done nothing wrong. Why am I upset about this? Like, fuck it. So
got some comments from Asa Don Brown, who's very senior in this psychological community in the USA and Canada. I always introduce him to guests in that way because he knows his stuff. He's making jokes here. Whole new meaning, taking the piss out of something. Yeah.
If you want to read my other piss related stories, read the book.
No, really, but another time maybe. Save that for the stand-up stage. Practitioners and researchers tend to overkill a diagnosis or a trend. Now, let's talk about this. Now, before you do that, we'll come back to that. I did mention that earlier because I do think, some of it, how can I put it? I agree with both points of view. I'll come back to it. Hold on. Ian in Surbiton, ADHD is another path in life. You travel mine and you travel mine and you yours. Hang on, I think he means I'll travel mine and New Yours today.
I think so. Yeah,
and it wasn't a bad crossing at all. We're all entitled.
No, we're all good. We get that, and this is the thing: people can have different political views and still be friends with each other. The only time when I have a problem with it is when people go after my friends. And I have a lot of people in my world who are trans or non-binary, and I just don't. People need to live their lives and be able to live their lives without being scared.
I made friends with a guy at work who's now a girl, and I'm perfectly cool with that. They're still human beings. They still have sensitivity.
Absolutely, yeah. So
and desires and dreams and fears like everybody else, and they don't reason. But it's just we're a bit primitive like that. I mean, we're really just starting to fully accept gay people. Trans is a bit of a push.
I mean, this is the thing. There are like, everybody is a person. Everybody has the same beating heart, the same lungs, the same stomach, like the same, like, just because somebody's got a different color skin or they love somebody who is like not who they're typically societally meant to love, like, doesn't mean that they are a bad person or they deserve to have like hate and violence. And anyway, that's a tangent.
I could not agree more. And I think I would wager that anyone watching this show, because I know our audience pretty well.
Firstly, so I want to address this comment. So firstly, ADHD is manageable. Yeah, not curable. You can't, if you've got ADHD, you can't get rid of it. Sorry, it's just the thing. You can't. I mean, unless it is trauma-based ADHD, which you can get by things like cognitive behavioral therapy, talk therapy, etc. But if you are born a neurodivergent person, you can't just switch it off. It doesn't go. I also want to address the trend and popular thing. There's nothing fucking trendy about ADHD. It's disability. It's a disability. It's disabling. It is hard to live with.
Hang on a minute. I was going to defend Dr. Asa here because I don't think he means it's trendy.
No. And I think that's why he's done my. But again, my autism just read that in the wrong way. But but this is the thing. It's mental health. We didn't used to talk about mental health at all, did we?
No.
And then all of a sudden, it was
that was a good move on our part, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, when people used to not talk about their mental health, then
I'm being sarcastic. It was a terrible move.
Yeah. So this again, autistic, don't understand sarcasm. Terrible. That is very much.
How about irony? What you like with irony?
Oh, fucking awful, like really bad. Like I used to think Ironic by Alanis Morissette was actually ironic until I got explained it, and then I was like, oh, okay, none of that's just bad luck, right? So but the thing is with I lost my train of thought, but yeah, the
trends.
So the overdiagnosis and the mental health stuff. So years ago, we didn't talk about mental health. It then became a very much like a buzzword thing in the like in the workplace, and employers actually started taking notice and they started listening, and therefore their staff retention rates went down, their turnover rates went down, their people were happier in the workplace, there was less absenteeism. All of these
happy
workforce,
it's
right?
productive staff. I mean, there's experiments that can prove that happiness and pleasure, and both, are productive.
Yeah, unless the dog steals the condom. But yeah, anyway, we won't go back
to
that.
Come on, Maddie.
See, quick. But the thing is, right, you have to think about the way that the world is progressing. More people are understanding that they are neurodivergent. There are more people who are accepting that they're neurodivergent. And then there are more employers who are starting to understand. And because it's being talked about more, it's one of those things where people are like, oh, this is like a new trendy, like, oh, because people are talking about it on TikTok, it makes it fun. Like ADHD is not fun. No. There are some funny sides to it. I do like having ADHD. I'm not going to lie.
And I'm not saying it is fun, and I'm not saying I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is I think there is an element of a buzzword going around, and suddenly everyone's that, and it's an easy, cheap, convenient diagnosis, which actually doesn't do the genuine cases like the people you deal with and yourself any favors.
No, and it doesn't.
It's a bit like saying, oh, that Indian lady over there, and someone goes racist. Well, no, it's not, and that doesn't help. That doesn't really do the Indian lady any favors either, because that wasn't racist.
No, so I get where you're coming from, and I think the problem with this country at the moment is that we have a distinct lack of NHS facilities, even private medical stuff. Like, there are some people who are choosing whether or not they eat or they get a private diagnosis. The waiting lists are like, in some places, between 7 and 10 years long. That's time that those people are really struggling with their brains and not knowing what's going on. So to a certain extent, self-diagnosis does have to be valid, because otherwise people just think they're broken. They think everything they're doing is just wrong. And then they end up going and doing something like taking their own life, which is not where we want the world to be. So the more people can understand, they don't have to like it, they don't have to be on board with it, but understanding that people are struggling, and there's not enough doctors, there's not enough there's not enough medication, there's not enough to help people at the moment. That's where the problem lies. It's not from the overdiagnosis. It's the fact that people are struggling more because they're not being seen and they're not being heard. Yeah. That's what I do. I help people to understand their brains so that they can be seen, they can be heard, they can make money.
On my doctor, there was a 4-year waiting list. That was like 4 years.
In some places, they've even stopped taking on patients to the waiting lists. This country is failing us.
Clearly, Houston, we have a problem here.
We really do have a problem. It's not an overdiagnosis epidemic. It's a underdiagnosis epidemic. It is a under-resourced. And it's the same with kids in schools. There's not enough teachers. There's not enough education for people in the education system. Like, teachers are not trained to understand neurodiversity unless they're neurodiversity specialist trained. So therefore, getting more people in to help to train the teachers, more supported kids, less unemployment. You see where I'm going with this? I could talk about this forever.
I know. No, I do see where you're going. I respect your point, and I think you have a point. I was just sort of, suggesting.
Nodding along.
Yeah. Trying to get a word in. No, I was. I'm teasing. I'm teasing. Don't be offended, but I'm teasing.
I'm never offended.
But I think I was addressing the overdiagnosis thing. But as I say, I see both points of view, and I absolutely agree with what you're saying 100%. Now, why is that? Is it because it's relatively new to us and we haven't caught up yet, or?
I mean, the thing is, there's enough information about it out there. There's enough people talking about it. I think to a certain extent, it's the government, it's the ignorance, it's the fact that people are closed-minded and they don't want to learn about new things. And also they see it as a problem. Like, this is the thing, like they can't have all of this, like, oh, ADHD is really horrible. Like, they're refusing to see any form of narrative that actually people who are neurodivergent can thrive. They can be amazing in the workplace if they are suited to the job that they're doing,
and if they're in the right set of
right environment. Yes.
Yeah, I definitely believe that. You put people in the right environment,
yes,
and they absolutely neuro anything, and they absolutely thrive. I know some wonderful neurodivergent comedians.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll be one of them one day. Like, I do see it happening. Well, I just need to pull my finger out and just do it.
I will. We'll chat about some contacts in Hampshire.
That'll be lovely.
Definitely. In fact, what I'll do, I'll put a post on the Hampshire Comedy Forum for you.
Oh, that'd be fun.
That'll probably get the best response, because I do have some wonderful Hampshire colleagues, some of which on New Road are they Hampshire a lot? Anyway, not that it matters where they're from. But no, Adam Dorr is an incredibly brilliant autistic comedian. Stephen Catling, autistic. And brilliant. Stephen Catling will get undressed on stage, and you see he's wearing a sort of a yellow and black basque, and wings pop up like that, and he does that, and he says, "This is what happens when you tell an autistic man to go and be himself."
Amazing.
Serious for a second, Ian in Surbiton, and this is about labelling, and I agree with him fully on this. The term used towards my late brother who killed himself, I'm so sorry, Ian, in 1971 was maladjusted. I was always slow, quite introverted. Another reason why I hate labels.
Okay, so I mean, firstly, Ian, I'm really sorry about your brother. That really fucking sucks. There's no other way to describe it.
There's no word for that, is there? I'm sorry.
No, not at all. Maladjusted, what a horrible word as well. I would say somebody who was struggling incredibly and they didn't get the support that they were needed.
Yeah, that's close to it.
But the thing with labels is, like, you know, I don't want to walk around with like ADHD tattooed on my forehead, or autistic. You know, I don't live my life by those labels, but I do find them useful for identifying the reasons why I struggle. For me, it was clarity. It was understanding of myself. But it's also, like, you know, when people say about labeling children, it's not about labeling them. It's about getting them the right support.
And there's a difference.
And they don't get the right support without that label. So that's why I think it's hard. You know, I've got two neurodivergent children. One of them has an ADHD.
So from the point of view of understanding and categorizing, it's useful. And in the point of branding someone something, and they have to live with that albatross around their neck for the rest of their life is wrong. Is that fair?
I think it's, and again, it's up to you whether you tell people. It's up to you whether you accept that as a. I mean, I've got so many things that I always say I've got, like, the Magna Carta of, like, hidden disabilities. I don't.
You remind me of the beginning of the Elton John film Rocket Man, where he's in the therapist. He says, have you seen that?
Yeah.
I've got this. I've got that. I've got that. I've got that.
Yeah. That is literally what I'm like.
And he's done all right.
Right, exactly. Legend. Like, but the thing is, it's not about identifying and sticking with one of those things. Like, I don't walk around and, like, you know, the first thing I say to people is, "Hi, I'm Maddie. I've got ADHD." Like, I say, "Hi, I'm Maddie. I'm a business coach. I help people with money." Like, you know, I'm a mum. I've got a dog. I've got a husband. You know, like, there's so much more to me than just having ADHD. So
and that's the danger of labels.
It is, but it's also that validation and the understanding. Like, before I was diagnosed, I had suicide ideation all the time. Also having PMDD, which, you know, luckily the men don't struggle with, but PMDD, ADHD, autism, all three combined, at certain times of the month, I just did not want to be here. I started sertraline last month, 8 weeks ago, because it was like 2 weeks after my dad died, because I was in that place again. I was stood on a platform at Waterloo Station, and there was a train coming, and I just thought I could walk in front of that right now.
And this
TMI, sorry, but this was 8 weeks ago, and I started to take sertraline, and it has genuinely saved me.
Good. Don't.
Like, no, I'm not going to. And the thing is, like, I used to have in my head, like, I would never do that. But you don't know you're going to do that until you're in a situation where you feel like you're going to do that. And
that's why we need extra help and support. I was going to throw in something from the Dr. Ace.
And I'm sorry, that should have been a trigger warning, but like I do think it's really important, and I talk so openly about my mental health.
But you've got support. I mean, if you ever had that thought again, you can reach out
absolutely.
to people. I mean, reach out to me and I'll tell you not to do it.
Well, the thing is, right, I've got 2 amazing kids. I've got a lovely husband. I've got lovely friends. I've got a great business. I'm doing well. I've just bought a new house. We're getting a dog in a couple of weeks. There's so many reasons for me to stick around, but losing my dad sent me into that spiral. And, you know, he was.
I think also when we have a trigger, it can take us back to where our mental health was kinked in the first place.
Yeah.
And the manifestation of that is all you think, oh my God, what's happened to me? All the work I've done, all the therapy, all the work I've done for nothing. It feels like at the time. But the thing is, it's not true. And when you can actually step back, I sometimes say to people, imagine it on a visual. If there's a big visual kind of, big bit of paper or card on the floor, maybe the whole length of the room. And look, that's where you were and that's where you are now. Look at the difference, see it. But it needs something striking, because depression's a liar. And thoughts like this, they lie.
It is. And the thing is, I have started to really focus on what my glimmers are. So glimmers are basically just small things that you see every day that actually just make you want to stay here. And yesterday on my Instagram, Maddie Talks Money, I shared my low light reel of 2025. And I basically shared all of the shit things that have happened to me, because I want other people to know that they're not alone.
No,
I'm not dwelling in those things. It wasn't a trauma dump. It wasn't a like, hey, look at me, everyone feels sorry for me. I was like, hey, all of these shitty things have happened to me, but I'm still fucking here. And today I'm just putting together my my glimmers reel, so like my highlights of the year. And there have been some amazing things that have happened to me. Like, I've been on TV, I've been on radio multiple times, I've been on the BBC. Zoe Ball sharing my book on her podcast and in her gift guide. I've been to loads of festivals. I've hung out with my friends. I've spoken on stages. I've made over 100 grand in my business. Like, there's so many things that are really.
I could do with some of your coaching.
There you go.
And the glimmers, well, it's all a matter of focus, isn't it?
It is.
And it's putting those negatives way over there where they belong. And focus, we tend to get more of what we focus on as well.
Yeah.
And
glimmers.
And if you, it can be hard, but once you get momentum going, it's a lot easier.
It is. And I have.
Hold on a minute. I was going to put some comments on the screen because we can.
Just while you're putting the comments up, I'm just going to say what I was going to say. But it's very easy when you think that you're doing everything wrong to stay in that place where you are. It's kind of like victim mode.
And it needs a counterbalance for sure.
It is a counterbalance. And I spoke to my husband and I said, I'm feeling so low. I just like, all I can think about is not being here anymore. And he was like, right, doctors, let's go. And I'd never wanted to take antidepressants before, but I knew that was the thing that needed to be done. I was scared of doing it. I did a video every single day on my Instagram, my TikTok, just to say what I was going through. And if you watch my videos 10 weeks ago and you watch my videos now, you will see a drastic improvement.
Good. Good. As long as you see a drastic improvement, that's
absolutely. Like, I haven't had any bad thoughts for 8 weeks, 6-8 weeks.
Good. ADHD is manageable and curable. No, hold on, that's the wrong one. One moment. Maddie, there's research that shows practitioners.
Get my name right.
I know, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Barry Manilow's in the house. Mandy. There's research that shows. I was hoping you wouldn't notice that, but you did. Research that shows practitioners tend to overdiagnose with disorders within their wheel belt. I think that Ace has said it better than I did. The issue is the disorders misdiagnosed by those that lack training and insight. There we go.
I mean,
he also says, one moment, he says, Ian, I'm sincerely sorry to learn of your brother. I firmly believe we should only diagnose if it's going to benefit the person. Otherwise, it becomes like the negative labels we talked about, doesn't it? Otherwise, I do not diagnose, he says.
How do we know if a diagnosis is going to benefit somebody or not, though, until it's happened? Like, I think this is why, like, everybody has their own autonomy. If you're struggling and you think you might have something, if you think a diagnosis will help you and it will help to validate so you can learn more about it, get one. If you think, actually, I don't want that label, I don't want to be diagnosed, it's going to make me really depressed, don't get it. You've got the autonomy there to do it and do what you need to do.
Fair enough. And I think the wisdom of the practitioner as well. I mean, Dr. Asa knows his stuff. I mean, he certainly wouldn't say that unless there was a good reason behind it. Ian and Surbiton's seeing my brother's suicide did to my mum, I would never inflict that on my wife and kids.
Yeah, I've had friends who have, and it like, and I think that's always the thing, like, that I've got in my mind, that, and that's why I wouldn't. But the thing is, when you are lower than low and you don't see a way out, and I have been there several times where I have almost done it but not, I think you can't blame people for being scared and not feeling like there's a way forward. So thank you, that's very
Maddie,
kind.
I've really enjoyed your interview. You have an incredible presence and personality. By the way, my phone corrected your name.
It does that. I'll let you off.
Just this once, Dr. Racer, just this once.
Also the dyslexic person noticed. I mean, like, we've got to give me some props for that.
Very quickly, run us through the chapters of your book. So what can people expect if they buy the book?
So all of the chapters are named after songs. This is why I was going to say it's a really different book. So I've named all of the chapters after songs. I talk about my life from being a child right the way up to my diagnosis, all of the money problems that I had in between, all of the business problems I had between. I talk about things like grief. I talk about things like bullying. I talk about, like, all sorts of different neurodivergent things that people would learn from. There is also a fuck glossary in the back. So I've changed all of the swear words into funny words, just so that people who don't like swear words don't get offended all the way through the book, because there's quite a few of them. There is the playlist. So all of the songs that are the chapter titles you can download on Spotify as a playlist once you buy the book. There's even colouring pages in the back for people who get bored when reading it, but you probably won't, because if you like the way that I talk, I'm just me all the time, so I kind of write in that way as well.
Now, what I want you to do, I want you to get your book.
Thanks, Julie. That's kind.
Can you grab a copy of your book? Hold it up to the screen, okay? And I'm going to take a screenshot. Hold on a minute. Just going to take a screenshot of that. Capture full screen. Done. Okay, brilliant. So I'll send you that. I've just seen the thickness of that book. It's massive. It's massive.
Do you know why it's massive?
Because you've got a lot to say.
No, well, that as well, but it's also fully accessible. The writing's massive. It's spaced out. It's dyslexic friendly. The reason why I did it like this is because I needed people who don't really read to be able to read it. So, as an ADHDer, I don't tend to read that much myself, but, like, I read my own book sometimes because it's quite good for content ideas. But thank you, Julie. That's really kind. If people want to follow me, my Instagram's Maddie Talks Money. My TikTok is Mad About Money Official. And yeah, you can go to my website, which hasn't been updated for a really long time. So maybe just don't look at that too much. Hey, okay. ADHD.
Right.
Updating websites is not fun for me.
Just going to put that on the screen.
Maddie Talks Money on Instagram. Yeah, or just Maddie Alexander Grout on Facebook. Come and follow me. I talk about lots of stuff on there as well.
It's been an absolute joy talking to you.
I have bloody loved this, Neil. Thank you for having me.
A very stimulating, good debate, good, interesting conversation. Thank you so much.
Hasn't it?
I'm very glad I invited you on the Midday Show. Keep in touch.
Of course I will. And yeah, thank you so much for having me. And thank you all to everybody who listened. And sorry if I offended you, Ian, but, like, sending lots of love to you.
Thank you very much. I will send you the audio, the footage rather, of this.
Perfect.
Feel free to slice and dice and cut it up.
I love a slice and dice.
Okay, apart from the bit with the dog and the condom, if you could.
I won't share that bit.
That bit out, please. And what I'll do, are we Facebook friends? I think we are friends, aren't we?
Yeah.
We are. What I'll do, I'll make a little cheeky post in the Hampshire Comedy Forum and introduce you to that lot.
Yeah, that would be perfect. Thank you.
And hopefully we might share a stage together one time.
That would be lovely. Let's totally do that.
You never know. Maddie Alexandra Grout, thank you so much for being on.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. She was a feisty one. What an absolute pleasure to talk to her. Maddie Alexandra Grout, talking about money and neurodiversity and all sorts of other wonderful things. Just got one more comment. Ian says, my skin is thick, you didn't offend. No, good. I'm sure it's not about. No, it's about a good debate here. And as Maddie says, we can have different views. I think I heard a joke once. It was a Jew, a Muslim and a Christian went for coffee and they all got on really well, which is what happens when people aren't arseholes. So you really can have a different view to someone without it turning nasty, because there's more than enough of that in the world. Thank you very much indeed for tuning in. Russ is back on Friday with oh, piss off, Ian. I'll come over there and sort you out. He called me a colonial, New Malden. Honestly, Ross is back on Friday. I'm going to go to Surbiton and let his tyres down in with your white picket fence. With Phil Dave, King of the Cravats, and you've thrown me now, Andy Bugger. Jonathan Baz, theatre critic, and Chantal Ricard, the screen queen. And I'll catch you next Monday for the Midday Show. And if I happen to see you at my comedy night, Ian, do you want a free ticket to my comedy night tonight, mate? It's in Walton on the Hill. If you want to come, hit me up. If anyone watching this would like to come to Walton on the Hill tonight, and if you're watching the replay, it's going to be no good to you whatsoever. So I'm talking Wednesday, the 10th of December, 2025. If you fancy coming to a comedy night, it's got free tickets for you tonight in Walton on the Hill. There we go. Ian says he hasn't got a car. Then I'll write rude graffiti on your windows. Good. I'll kick over your picket fence. No, seriously, Ian, if you want to come tonight and have a laugh, not at each other's expense. Well, actually, you could probably laugh at my expense because I'm doing a set. Anyway, Russ is back on Friday. I'll see you Monday. Very good afternoon. Right, cheesy smile until it ends.